Hi, we're Claire and Craig, and we're currently travelling around Europe in our self-converted campervan. We're now in Lubeck in Germany. We've parked somewhere on the outskirts and we walked in. It was about an hour walk. And now we're here in the old town centre. You can see the city gate right behind us. And we've been in Germany now for about 5 days, I think. And we haven't tried any German foods yet. Since we've been here, we've just been cooking in the van. So today what we're going to do is go around and try some German food. We don't know a huge amount about this place yet, apart from it's got an old town. It's supposed to be the home of marzipan, and apparently it has 7 spires. So the first thing that we're trying today is currywurst. It's like a sausage in a sort of tomatoey ketchup curry sauce. And then we've got it with chips. You can also get it with bread. We've had it once before in Berlin. I'm not really a big fan of sausages. The one we had in Berlin was like the only time I've ever liked sausage, so it'd be interesting to see if I like this one. It's okay. I'm not a huge fan. I don't hate it either. I prefer it to normal sausages.
Whereas I quite like sausages normally, so if you want the perspective of someone who actually likes sausages, yeah, it's pretty good.
The sausage here is definitely different to the sausages we're used to back home. Like almost blander in a way, but I think it's actually nicer. And I think the sausage meat is actually quite nice. It's just the skin that I don't really like on it. This one here has quite a chewy skin on it.
But it's definitely worth trying one if you're in Germany.
Maybe this one is just not the best one. Maybe I'll have to try another one at some point and see what's better. We've just been wandering around the town for a while. We're not sure how much there actually is to do here other than just look around at all the buildings and stuff. The architecture is really nice. There's lots of these, I don't know what this type of architecture is called, but these buildings all have these sandcastle-like stepped fronts. I'm not sure what else there is apart from food and drink here. We just stopped for a drink by the river. We're not trying any more food for a minute because we were both really full from earlier, but we're going to go and find some more food later on. We're just having to take an alternative route around because the cobbles were just too much for Craig. He couldn't get up the hill.
Yeah, the cobbles are hard enough by themselves, but when you combine cobbles with a steep hill, it's almost impossible in a wheelchair.
We just had to take an extra block, walk all the way around and get back to where we were. We've now come to this cafe called Niederegger. There's a few of them all over Lubeck, and they're supposed to have the best marzipan, which is what Lubeck is famous for. So we've got a drink and a nut marzipan cake, which was recommended to us by the waiter. So let's see how it tastes. I don't normally like marzipan, but that's actually a nice cake. This is really good. We've just been into this marzipan shop, and this is actually made out of marzipan, which is quite impressive. And now we've bought a few things to taste as well. We've just walked around to see the Bergtor over here, which is the northern city gate. But honestly, we're a little bit underwhelmed with this one compared to the other one, the western one, which was much nicer. It does look a little bit nicer from this side. So if you do come to see it, make sure you come from the city side, the Lubeck old town centre side of it, rather than from the outside, because this is definitely the better view. This building here behind us is an old hospital, and apparently it's one of the oldest social institutions in the whole world. It was built in the Middle Ages in the 1260s apparently, so very old, and it looks pretty impressive actually.
So we're ready to try one of the marzipans we bought in the Niederegger shop. This one is marzipan with dark chocolate.
Nice.
You don't get the the almond marzipan taste at first, but it comes through a bit later, and it's quite a nice kick. It's very soft.
I'm pleasantly surprised with that one. You like marzipan anyway.
Yeah, I quite like marzipan.
I don't love it, but as far as marzipan goes,
Well, it's a lot less sweet than the sort of marzipan you would get, say, in the UK, where you get on a cake or something. It's always covered in sugar. So this is more like true marzipan. Yeah, I like it.
not bad. Back in the van now, and in the end we didn't go out for dinner this evening because we were quite full after the cake and those big drinks. So what we decided instead is that we'd come back to the van and cook ourselves something lighter, and then tomorrow we can try some more foods instead. This is where we stayed last night. It's just a motorhome rest area and it was actually free. We're starting off today with another currywurst because we were a little bit disappointed by the ones we had yesterday. This one looks a little bit more like what we were expecting. It's got the curry powder on the top. And I forgot to mention yesterday as well, the fries also come coated in paprika as well. So let's try it. So we got one with chips and we also got one with bread today as well.
Not bad.
Today's currywurst was definitely better than yesterday's one. It had a lot more sauce on the sausage, which was a lot nicer, but they still weren't quite as good as the ones we've had in Berlin. But I think currywursts are actually originally from Berlin, so you probably would expect them to be better in Berlin than they are here in Lubeck. But now we're finished with Lubeck, I think, because we feel like we've seen everything, but we still want to try some more German food. So we're going to leave Lubeck, but still continue on our food tour. For tonight's meal, we decided to go to a supermarket and see what sort of German food we could find there that we could then cook here in the campsite. So what we have is a vegan schnitzel. Schnitzels are actually from Austria, not Germany, I believe, but they eat them a lot here, I think, because they seem to be on all the menus and they seem to be readily available. So we wanted to try one. This one, I think it's some sort of, it's got mushroom on the packaging, so it might be some sort of mushroom base, but it's plant-based anyway, it's vegan. But traditionally they're actually made from pork, I think is the most common one. But we're trying not to eat too much meat for sustainability reasons, and since we had a lot of meat yesterday, we wanted to not eat meat again today, so we've gone with the vegan version. And then similarly, we've also gone for a veggie currywurst to see what that's like. Ooh. And then with the schnitzel, we've got this schnitzel sauce. I think it's got mushrooms, pepper and rosemary in it by the sounds of it. I don't know if that's the traditional variety or not, but this is the only one we could find, so we've gone with that. I guess a lot of people might just make it themselves, but since we're not sure how to, we've gone with this. And then again, this is some sauerkraut, which I think again a lot of people would probably make at home. We've got this tinned version, which is probably not what most people use, but it was the only one we could find. And sauerkraut is something I've definitely heard of as being German. It's some sort of pickled cabbage, I believe. And then finally we have some spatzel, which is some sort of egg-based thing. Don't really know what else is in it other than that, but we're going to try it and see what it's like. So we're going to cook all of this and then we'll see what they all taste like. We've also got some extra mushrooms to add to the sauce as well, just for some extra vegetables. But the problem we have is that we only have the one hop here and we can't really understand any of the instructions either, so we're not entirely sure how to make everything and how much time things need and what to do first and whatnot. So it could be a bit of a disaster, but we'll see what happens. Here's one of the realities of cooking outside and van life that they don't show you on those like #vanlife Instagram posts, and that is that just a minute ago we were cooking and a bird came and pooed all over our chopping board, so I had to go and give that a really thorough wash. And of course when you're cooking out here as well, the washing facilities are quite far away, so you have to walk all the way over there to wash it. You can't just pop to the sink. So anyway, given that a good wash, so we're going to get back to it. But the funny thing was earlier as well today, there's a lake down there and we were just sitting there and a bird pooed on my leg then as well. So this is the second time today that I've been pooed on by a bird.
Thank you.
Not sure that this is very traditional. I'm sure you're supposed to have the sauce poured over the spatzel, over the schnitzel and not cooked into the spatzel, but since we only had the one hob for cooking, we had to improvise and do it a little bit differently. But let's see how it tastes.
The spatzel's quite nice.
The spatzel's quite nice. Your mushroom sauce is quite nice.
Yeah, the spatzel reminds me of a sort of a cross between noodles and gnocchi.
The sauerkraut is very much like pickled cabbage, very pickly. Now let's try the schnitzel.
It's quite acidic, isn't it, sauerkraut? It's nice though.
The schnitzel. Not so sure about that schnitzel.
Yeah, I don't think it's been vegetarianised very well. It's nice, but I wouldn't call it a schnitzel.
And probably we didn't cook it right either. You're supposed to fry it and we don't have a frying pan. The spatzel is nice, yeah. We didn't really need to have the currywurst last night with the spatzel and everything else, so we're going to have it now for lunch instead. So let's see how it is. It was a weird way of cooking it. You had to just boil it in water in the packet. And then we have this special curry powder stuff to put on top of it. Special curry. There we are. Let's try it. I actually prefer the supermarket veggie version of this than the ones that you get from the stores. The skin is much softer. On the ones we had, the skin was like really quite tough, wasn't it? And this one is much softer. I actually prefer it. If there are any other German foods that you think we should try, then please let us know. We are leaving Germany now to go to Denmark, but we do plan to come back to Germany again before we go home, so we can try them then. So do let us know if there's anything that we have missed. But that's it for this video, so we'll see you in the next one.